Hi everyone and welcome back. If you're new here, I'm Casca and in today's video I'm going to be making a corset. I love making corsets. I love experimenting with different patterns and seeing what will work for my figure and all that kind of stuff. So when I saw this 1901 pattern from Corset Cutting and Making, I had to try it out. The kind of issues I have with corsets when I buy like commercial patterns and stuff like that is I'm very high-waisted. My high hip is also very high. There's like about that much of a distance between my waist measurement and where my hip starts sticking out. So the fit generally isn't very good on most corsets. With this one, it does say that it's for a stout figure, so I'm wondering if that might alter the proportions a bit. It also looks like it's got pretty good hip spring, so I've got high hopes that this will be a good one. It's also quite an interesting pattern as well because it's only in two pieces on each side. All the shaping seems to be done with some darts and some gore pieces that are inserted on the bust and around the hip and the butt. So it'd be quite interesting to see how that's going to work, because with my body shape generally I need a lot of shaping. So we shall see. Ooh. And the best part? I found this super cute fabric. Look at it! When I saw this on Etsy, I couldn't not get it. It's creepy unicorns is totally my mood. Right, the most important part of any pattern, but especially corsets, is going to be doing a mock-up. So I'm going to get on that now. I've got some quite sturdy white cotton. I bought like 4 meters of it, thinking that it was a lighter weight than it was, and I basically just use it for corset mock-ups now. So let's get started. Okay, so I did one mock-up and I'm not even going to show you. The fit was so terrible. It only got halfway around me. So the interesting thing is though, the bust did fit. So what I need to do is widen this pattern in the waist and the hip area and keep the top of it the same. Because there's a good chance I'll mess it up. I have made a copy of this pattern so that I can make alterations to this and not have to worry about messing up like the original pattern. So this is the front and this is the back. One of the immediate things that I want to do, which will give it a little bit more width as well, is for some reason this pattern has got a bone here and then the lacing and then nothing. And I'm used to doing corsets that have got another bone here to just add a little bit of extra stability to the lacing. So I'm going to add another bone to this area here, and that will add an extra like centimetre. Now I feel like the main parts where I'm going to need extra are, I'm wondering if I split it here and basically cut it from the bottom up until nearly the top and then spread it. That'll give me extra here, but it'll give me a lot more extra in like the hip area. So got to figure out a way once I've widened it to then bring it back in a bit on the hip. I'm probably talking a load of nonsense right now. So what I'm going to do is slash it in various areas, give me that bit of extra width, and then see where I'm going from there. Okay, so what I've decided to do is I have added a total of 5 centimetres to the back and the front. So I've added a piece in here, and I've added a piece there and a piece there. I decided I'm going to make a mock-up with it like this, because you never know the bit that I'm getting. How much have I got here in the waistline? I've got 1 centimetre. Yeah, I've got about 2.5 to 3 centimetres going on extra in the waist. Could be enough, depending on how much squish I've got. So what I'm going to do is make a mock-up with this pattern. The other thing that I need to do actually, because I've added that little bit there, I'm going to have to take out a tiny bit from these bust starts just to make up for it, because like I said, the top was fitting perfectly. So I will take out those bits and then make this mock-up. Okay, so this is mock-up number 2. I've got all my boning like duct taped to the inside of it so that I could make sure the structure and stuff was right. So that's why you don't see any visible like boning case stitching or anything on it. I think the fit is actually pretty good. One thing, the waist is actually in the correct place, and that is a novelty for me. Every single corset I have ever made, I've had to raise up the waistline by at least 2 inches. But it's looking like the decision to go with a stout figure corset was the right decision, because the waistline is hitting exactly right. It's also giving me some pretty nice hip spring, which again, you can see there, that's not too bad. I'm getting some good coverage over my hips as well. A lot of corsets that I make ends up hitting around here, and I don't really like that. I like it to go over my hips, just to kind of disguise the hip dips a little bit. It does need some alterations though. There's a little bit too much room in the hips. It's like actually closing at the back, where I've got a bit of a gap around my waist. But that's going to be an easy fix. It'll just be a case of taking out a little bit from each of these panels on each side. The bust is also a little bit too big though, and that's going to need a bit more of a fix, because this bit here is coming way too far around. It should be sitting around here. So the way I'll need to fix that will be to make these little bust gores a little bit smaller, and then I'll need to add a little bit more to the back to make up for how much I've shrunk these down. Other than that though, I think the fit is pretty good. I'm very happy with it. So I think that means it's time to start cutting into the fashion fabric. I laid out my pattern pieces, doing my very best to get the creepy unicorn heads on the gore pieces. Everything was cut out, leaving a 1/2 inch seam allowance. I left a bit more on the bottom of the gores so I could cut them to size later on. I pinned and then sewed the front and back panels along the centre front and centre back. I made sure to leave gaps for the sticky outy bits of the busk to poke through. I pressed my seams to the inside and then realised that I'd mixed up my front panels. It's an easy fix though, just a bit of unpicking. I inserted the busk and secured it in place with pins. I marked where the little knobs were and poked holes through with an awl. I used a zipper foot to secure the busk in place. I marked my darts with tailor's chalk before stitching them. It still feels a little bit weird putting darts in a corset. I basted around the edge of my gore pieces so that I could treat the two layers as one. They were then inserted into the slits in the body of the corset. The hip gauze were a bit more tricky to manipulate in place, but I am thankful for that extra hip room. They were then top stitched down using 2 rows of stitches. I attached the front and back panels of the corset together, leaving a gap at the bottom. This was filled with another gore piece at the hip. I inserted a 1cm steel bone in the back and secured it using a zipper foot. I then marked my space for the eyelets before adding another 1cm steel bone. I used twill tape I had lying around for the bone casings. They weren't exactly the right size, but I made do. I also added a strip at the waist to help control any stretching in that area. I used an edge stitch foot to attach the bone casings. I marked my eyelet placing and then inserted the eyelets using eyelet pliers. At some point I'm gonna have to get a better tool for this because I can only use 5mm eyelets at the moment. I used bias tape along the edge of the corset. I did the top first, then inserted the boning. I used bits that I had lying around, so not all of them were the right size. To finish, I added bias tape at the bottom and laced it up using ribbon. I love it. The fabric is awesome. I love the design. I do think that it's probably not the best for corsetry though, just because it's very, very thin. So you probably noticed in the reveal footage that there was a little bit of wrinkling, and I think that is a lot to do with just because I didn't have any coutil either. I've still never made a corset with coutil. I just got like the sturdiest fabric that I could that didn't have any stretch. So I think that's contributing to the little bit of wrinkling going on. But I don't care because it's so nice. It creates such a nice shape as well, and I think I did get the proportions just right. Like, it's a great fashion corset, and I've left enough kind of room in it so that I could put a little bit of like a bust improver and some hip pads in for doing like late Victorian, like early Edwardian kind of thing. For me in corsets, the hip area is always going to be a problem area. With the amount that my hips go inwards in the hip dip area, they'll fit really nice and I'll have like an even like lacing gap, and then as soon as it gets into that dip then it's like I can pretty much lace it closed. But padding in that area will completely fix that problem. So yeah, I'm super happy with it. I think it turned out really well, and to reference my video title, yes, you can make a really nice corset with only 4 panels. It turns out those, like the little gore insert pieces, do so much shaping. Like, it's unbelievable. Because every other corset I've made has had like 5 panels on each side or something, I'd always just assumed that you needed those panels to get that shaping, but you don't. I'll leave a link to the book in the description below, so if anybody wants to try out making this corset themselves, they can. If you like this video, then giving it a little like would be very much appreciated. I'm always open to your suggestions and constructive criticism, so anything you'd like to see, let me know in the comments. And if you'd like to see more videos of me trying to make things, then why not subscribe and hit that little bell so you'll be notified next time I upload a video. I do my very best to upload a new video every 2 weeks. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!